Okay, now we're happy with our rating. We need to give it a date. So if we go back to the rating period manager here, and let's just expand this out so we can see what's going on. Let's make this a little bit bigger too. So as you see, we're working on several tabs here, but the training offset one, so we want to put a date on this training offset rating. So if we double click on here, this will bring up our options to give it a start date at this point here. So we need to find this date. So again, we need to go back to, let's cancel this for now, back to our gauging. So you can see between 2017, August 17 and the 1st January 18, which is when these measurements start appearing in pink here, the rating has changed. So this is back on the older rating. So if we go and have a look at our hydrograph over this period, try and find when the flood event that caused this rating change. So when we bring this up here, we know that between somewhere in August, there's a visit showing a gauging. Yep, mean gauge height. So this one here was a gauging just before this peak. There's several peaks. And the next gauging is in January. Here, 18th of January. So there's another gauging coming in here. So between these visits here, let's just zoom in on that. Something's caused our rating change. So there's been several peaks. One thing we can look at, if I just say, leave that back out a bit. If we look at the base flows, so if we look at where the river comes down to after an event, so these are coming down to roughly the same level, but after these events here, they're hanging high, and then it's coming down to an even lower level after this. So my guess, I mean, you could argue it could be on this rating here. We've got a value of 3.633, and this one here we're going slightly higher at 3.7. So maybe we'll pick the highest peak in this case here, because the base flows seem to be staying higher, even though it is spring events. It may not be the best indication, but these base flows do show us that there has been a rating change, because it's dropping down to a lower level here. We're holding higher here back in July. So let's, for argument's sake, pick this time here. So we have got a date of the 18th of the 9th, 17 at around about 10. Well, that's about midnight, is it? 0010. So let's just go for midnight. And if we go back to our rating manager, double click on here and enter our start date, 2017, September 17th at, let's just go at midnight. We're not going to have an end time because it's still the current rating, so we're just going to leave that blank at the moment. So when we apply this, so you see now all our dots have become large because we have a date associated. And it's also put all the measurement IDs with them. Let's go back to here now. So it's put in our training offset working with the start date. And it's also then put in an end date to the previous rating, which was back at number 22. So, and it's given it the same, let's just make this slightly larger, same time. So it's ending at the same time, but we may want to have a blend. Like you can see all these ratings have blends. So if we go back to our hydrograph, so we're saying this was the peak here, so let's just enlarge this peak. Maybe just get rid of our data points. Yep, so we're saying over this period here, the ratings changed. And it probably just doesn't change instantly at the top. It's probably going to be at a certain level, which is an experience that you'll gain at the site or particular site. So let's say it's around 3.5 meters, it's going to start changing. So if we look for a value around here and look at that date and time, so you can see it, here's 3, yep, so we're looking at about 3 meters there. And that's at about 21, so on the 17th at 2155, so let's go 2200. Maybe that's when it's going to start blending, or our new rating is going to start and our old one's going to start blending out to the other side over here. So again, around about that same level. And that is again on the 18th, and at say 0400. So that's the 18th at 400 from the 17th. So it's just over that midnight, over about that's 6 hours or so. So I've got those dates. Let's go back in here and now change our end date of the previous rating. So rather than midnight, we're going to make that finishing on the 18th at 0400 on the 18th, so we can apply that. And you'll see now it's put in a blend between that at 4 o'clock and our new rating, which starts at midnight. So we want to start that slightly earlier now. So let's go back to our rating we're working on, the new rating, and we've said that it's now going to be on the 17th. It starts at 2200 and apply that. So see the previous one went from 2013 through to the 18th at 4 o'clock, and there's our overlap from our new one starting on the 17th at 2200. That'll go on to whenever the next rating occurs, and that's automatically put our blend in.
Last thing to look at back on our training curve is we can also grade our rating. So let's just look at it back in linear space, which is what we're used to. So obviously it looks pretty reasonable there. But we can grade these segments. So if we look at our grade table, so it's in amongst the same where we were with our looking at our rating, our stage discharge offset slopes, so the grade table. These segments here apply to every segment between our rating points. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can grade these individually. So for instance, now because we've extended this one down to our point of zero flow, we have no measurements in here, so we can't rely on this being a good grade. So our first one, which is up to 100 QMEX, then here we're going to leave this as probably not even poor, because we can't grade it at all, so it's really undefined. So we'll probably leave it as undefined. We wouldn't say unusable, because it's probably our best guess, but it's undefined at the moment. And then our next segment up, because we have got measurements in here, and that's up to 500 QMEX, is pretty good. So we're going to, if the segments are good, we're within our limits here. If we look at our shift diagram, so we're going to grade that good quality. And the next section 2 in here is the same. We've still got measurements around here. You'll see the color changing as well. And then our next segment, which is up to 800, so we're still in here, still within our measurements. And then we're going from our 800 up to 13, which is still within our measurements, and they're defined well enough, so we're still 600. And then from here up, we're going to 1356, which is still a measurement. Let's have a look. That's probably this one. 1355. So we're still in a range here where we're confident the grade's good. And then above that, of course, we've extrapolated. So we're going to go back to probably maybe fair or poor. Because it is really a guess, but let's go with poor at this point. And then above that, again, we can either leave it as probably undefined as we did the bottom, because we just haven't got enough evidence in that area. So you can see the colors have been added here, but I have got this one wrong. So this second one here shouldn't be good. This is again our undefined. And yep, So that's turned it to blue, same as above. So anything above this and below this, we're undefined. We're happy in here. We could even make that similar to poor quality, because we sort of have established this. So let's try that. Just click out of there. Yep. So we could say that the rating curve is poor at this point and above, but we're happy with it in here. And you could define that further if you haven't got many gaugings in an area. So that's another way we can grade our ratings, which helps then flow through to the grading of our discharge.